Hey everyone, it's Jonathan. There's not going to be a new video this week, at least on this channel, but there are new episodes on both Every Version Ever and the Joncast Rewind if you're interested. On Every Version Ever, we've started a new series of every fairy tale ever, and this week Jenna and I are talking about Tim Burton's Hansel and Gretel. And on the Joncast Rewind, Nikki, Dan, and I are covering hundreds of beavers. Plus, I wanted to make sure that if you're interested, that you don't miss out on the mini-series that I wrapped up last month on Every Version Ever. Sam and I recorded a series on the Jurassic Park franchise. Not just the original 3 films, but also the books that inspired them. Or at least the first 2. The third one is a whole different story as to where the inspiration for that one came from, which we get into in great detail. So I'll have a link to the Jurassic Park playlist in the description, and if you are at all a fan of the Jurassic franchise, I highly recommend checking it out. All 5 episodes are up and available to listen to right now. And speaking of the Jurassic Park miniseries, working on that has made me rethink again how exactly I want to approach where and when episodes will get uploaded, at least as far as the video versions go. As I've mentioned in previous updates, I'm changing how I approach the YouTube versions for my various podcasts, and for the most part I will not be double uploading everything to multiple YouTube channels. I've gone back and forth on how exactly I want to approach this. At the beginning of the year I was originally thinking I wasn't going to upload anything at all from Every Version Ever to this channel. I do want to keep each YouTube channel as its own individual space for its own unique content. However, about halfway through my Jurassic Park series, I started having an issue that made me kind of rethink how I might want to do things, and of course, it all comes down to copyright. Not all studios are as bad as Universal, but for whatever reason, it took me forever to get something that was okayed by YouTube's copyright bots. And by the final episode, I did not want to deal with that anymore. My main focus is audio. I love making podcasts, so it's been really annoying having to spend so much time on the video versions when the time comes to put together something for YouTube. So I've decided that I'm going to make the video version of Every Version Ever as simple as I can. If it's obscure enough that I can easily get footage into the intro, I will, but I will make no attempt to get footage in anywhere else at all unless I do like a custom outro for a whole series. Other than that, it is going to be as simple as I can go just to make sure I can keep up with my editing schedule. Every Version Ever is probably my most consistent main focus, and for the most part it has the most time-sensitive schedule, so I don't want to get held up by a copyright issue that can throw my whole release schedule into disarray. So my plan is, for the time being, I'll make a simple video version that can be posted on the Every Version Ever YouTube channel at the same time as the audio version goes up. And then at some point later on, depending on how busy I am, potentially much later on, I'll try to make a more polished version for this channel. This won't be for everything, there will still be a lot that will only ever appear on the Every Version Ever channel, especially for the more obscure stuff. For now, I'm thinking most animated versions of things will also come to this channel, but also some of the bigger live-action versions could potentially be candidates for a main channel upgrade too. And this is partially because I can also see a lot of the bigger stuff originating on this channel and then moving to Every Version Ever, particularly Disney things, but also anything I make for Wonderland Wednesday, which will eventually make its way to Every Version Ever. But similarly to how it works in the other direction, there will be a significant time difference between releases, just so I'm keeping things separate and fresh. My real life schedule fluctuates throughout the year, so I'm thinking I will work on the copyright stuff as I have time, and then save the finished episodes to fill in gaps on my main channel release schedule. And similarly, I will also be saving Wonderland Wednesday episodes until I have enough for a whole series of Alice in Wonderland on Every Version Ever. And then I can use that when I know I'm going to be gone or when I need to work on another series for something. Right now I'm thinking I will eventually try to make an upgraded version for at least 3 episodes of my current fairy tale series, especially this week's episode on Tim Burton's Hansel and Gretel, because that film really is worth it. And if you've never seen it, I highly recommend watching it before listening to our podcast. It is on YouTube and it's not much longer than half an hour, and then once you've experienced the trip for yourself, come back and check out the podcast I did with Jenna. That thing is bizarre in the best way possible, and it's definitely worth watching for fans of unique adaptations of fairy tales. All the episodes of the current series of fairy tale adaptations will also go up on the audio-only feed of the iHeart Animation podcast, but that will not follow the same release schedule as Every Version Ever. Every Version Ever episodes will pretty much always premiere there first and then fill in the gaps of the schedule of iHeart Animation, so I can keep running iHeart Animation mostly on a weekly basis. If you follow both the podcast and this YouTube channel, you'll notice it has been aligning less and less. Like I said, the video versions take a lot longer, so I've been prioritizing audio across the board. Occasionally I'll try to make things line up better, especially when I have seasonally specific episodes like the upcoming Christmas in July season, but I can keep a regular schedule a lot easier when I'm only worrying about the audio. So going forward, I will probably have more weeks off here and there on the YouTube channel, but I should have something releasing on at least one of my podcasts every week. And if you want to get episodes early, make sure you're following both the iHeart Animation podcast as well as the Disney Movie Marathon podcast. There's another episode of my 2025 animation ranking up on iHeart Animation already, and there are a bunch of Disney episodes that have come out already on the Disney Movie Marathon, including The Jungle Book, The Jungle Book 2, and a full discussion and ranking of Disney's Bronze Age. Plus, I have episodes recorded and waiting to be edited on Disney's 1994 and 2016 Jungle Book remakes, which will go up there first before I turn all 4 of those Jungle Book episodes into a mini-series that should go up simultaneously on this YouTube channel as well as iHeart Animation. I think that's all I've got for now. Like I said, no new podcast this week, but there will definitely be one next week. If I can get it edited in time, I've got a brand new episode of Wonderland Wednesday with Jenna already recorded, or if I don't have time to edit that this weekend, I will make time to do graphics for the most recent 2025 animation episode. That is already up as an audio podcast on iHeart Animation. Morgan and Chelsea from the Rotoscopers joined me to talk about their favorites from last year. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we will see you next week on the Johncast Multiverse.